Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to our Kraven the Hunter movie review. This is our third Sony verse Spider-Man, non-Spider-Man movie review of 2024. Is it a good one? Do we recommend you go out and see this movie? Do you hunt down your tickets like Kraven? We'll let you know. Let's introduce the panel who we've got here. We've got George. What's going on, George?
Hey,
Greetings.
I'm reminded seeing this film of the old Duran Duran song, "Hungry Like the Wolf."
There you go.
I'm on the hunt.
You
I'm
are?
after you.
Why did they not put that song in there? You know, they put a Tony Bennett song in there. That would have been a perfect song.
I don't know. The synergy is obvious, but there's a lot of songs about being an animal and tearing somebody up.
Yeah, there was a scene where, what was it? They said to Russell Crowe, "You're interrupting us, our stalking," or something like that. I was like, that just seems kind of awkward. But anyway, George is here to talk about Kraven the Hunter. And by the way, spoilers, we have seen the movie. And if you want to wait until after you see it to watch this show, feel free. But there are going to be spoilers in this episode. All right. We also have Christina, who went to the theater today to see it. Welcome, Christina.
I did. Oh, let's talk about this.
We are about to get into it. We are going to share our thoughts about the potentially last Sony verse Spider-Man, non-Spider-Man movie. So
for the record, I don't think this is the actual end of things. I don't think Amy Pascal can help herself, to be honest.
Well, yeah. I don't think there'll be another. I think there'll be another one too, but I think it will be like a Miles Morales movie, honestly, or another animated Spider-Man movie. But yeah,
I mean, those are Miles Morales movies. They've already had those.
Yeah, I know, but live action Miles Morales, I think, is coming. All right, and we have Josh and his girlfriend Brooklyn. Hi, Brooklyn. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
And Brooklyn, thanks for joining us and going right into the fire.
Like I was saying last night on the review show, she's seen more Sony Spider-Man adjacent films than actual Spider-Man ones at this point.
I blame the boyfriend.
Yeah, we need to. I take full responsibility for that one.
Yeah, with great power, my man, comes great responsibility to the girlfriend. You have to show her the good stuff before you show her the bad stuff, right?
Venom 3, Madam Web, and this one, and we've seen Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 1.
Okay,
that's it so far. So
you didn't see Spider-Man 2?
Oh yeah, that's after we watch Punisher.
Oh, okay.
Oh, after Punisher.
Yeah, we're going through all the way through the movies.
Man. Okay. Brooklyn, have you seen any of the Avengers movies or any of the other Marvel movies at all?
No, nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. Oh, wow.
We're working on it. We've seen some of the early 2000s stuff. We watched what was it, Ang Lee's Hulk?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We watched Howard the Duck.
Why did you do that?
Howard the Duck.
Wow. Okay.
No. Howard the Duck's good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it since '86, but I'll take. I watched it with younger eyes.
We watched Daredevil, Ben Affleck's one.
Jennifer
You've
Garner.
seen Guardians, though, right? Parts of it.
Years ago.
And we've seen our first date actually was watching Captain America: The First Avenger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. So, Brooklyn, I don't want to grill you too much, but I am. When you heard this man loves Spider-Man and all this comic book related stuff, did it scare you a little bit, or what were your thoughts when you heard this?
I was just scared that he wasn't going to talk to me once he knew that I haven't watched or don't know anything. I'm glad.
That's a legitimate concern.
He saw it as a challenge, I suspect.
He had multiple people at church warn her, like, this is the Spider-Man dude, right? Like, this is the guy that owns like 35 Spider-Man suits.
Oh, Brooklyn, what happened when you saw the closet?
Oh, he did not want me to see that.
That was at least past date 1 thing.
That's like date 70, bro.
I just saw it yesterday.
You just saw it yesterday. Okay. Now, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but Josh shared with us the text message you all did. And Josh sent you a text message, and can you tell us what it said?
Which one
That was, hey, do you want to come watch another garbage Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man in it? And your response was absolutely what time?
She goes, I love you. Absolutely. What time? And I shared that with my wife, who have been married for 20 years. And she goes, oh, they're so new. And I thought that was really cute. But anyway, all right. So before we do the pros and the cons of the movie and the grade and stuff like that, I want to hear, was there any funny moments in the theater with the audience or anybody? Anybody wants to volunteer first? Christina, what happened to you?
I was watching it and I heard a man snoring behind me a couple times, and I think eventually woke up. But that was so funny. Yeah.
There's worse things to realize that somebody's doing behind you than snoring.
Snoring
in the movie theater.
Oh dear.
George, anything happened funny to you in the theater?
So, per the little ticket app, right? There was at least 5 tickets sold for this thing.
Okay.
And only one other person came in and sat down behind me.
Okay.
I didn't see any of the other people. Now, we did have a thunderstorm come through that night, so people may have canceled their purchases and rescheduled. Who knows? But the guy that came in and sat behind me leaned over just so he could, be kind of close to my ear and said, I hate to ask this, but is this Kraven? Because the movie theater outside didn't have the titles, like when you show them your little
you should have been like, no, this is George.
And then and then they tell you, oh, okay, Theater 5, whatever, that way.
Right.
But it didn't have the actual name of the movie out front on any of the theaters. So if you didn't listen when they said Theater 5.
Well, that shows you how much confidence they have in the movie, because they're not even putting the name above the theater for people to come in. They're going to change it in an hour or something.
Well, it was like the guy, was like ashamed of, is this
so
Kraven?
Sorry, but
and you're like, yeah, dude, no.
You could have messed with him and said, this is for Wicked.
Okay, we got to jump in now. We had the exact same thing happen. They actually put the posters up, but we walked in and this old couple was in our seats. And I was like, oh, what seats you're in? They're like B9 and 10. I was like, oh, weird. Us too. Here's the ticket. And they went, what the heck? And so they pull up their tickets and I look and it says, B9 and 10, screen 8. And we're in screen 7. I was like, oh, this is Kraven. She goes, oh, are we not going to see that? What are we going to see? And my husband's like, I don't know. I was like, I think you're going to go see Wicked next door. She's like, oh, is that like a similar movie or what?
Now, can you imagine Kraven in Oz?
Yes, Kraven
just hunting the cowardly lion. I mean, I can see it.
Kraven the Hunter.
Look like Kraven.
Yeah, why not?
Kraven the Hunter, a toe-tapping musical of tolerance and change. Did you so like when you got up, you get in there and you see people in your seats, or you like rolling up your sleeves like, oh my God, we'll take care of this.
I got to show Brooklyn I'm the man. I got to kick these people out of our seats.
You're like,
I am Spider-Man.
Were you like, hold on, honey, I'm gonna whip this old man's ass.
And put him on his broomstick and send him next door. Yeah. Okay. So they got up and they were like,
nobody put maybe on the front row.
The seats were warm.
Oh, the seats were warm.
Okay.
Well, they're old people, so they were probably there for like 25-30 minutes before.
Yeah, they came early and
they
heated it up a lot. That was very gross.
That's awkward. That's awkward.
It was like a moist warm, like it was sweaty.
Oh, hey, yo, hey. So
moist warm.
Anything else happened? I mean, that's a good way to start it.
At the end of the movie, the guy that asked me if this was Kraven, and I talked afterward, which was weird, like it's weird as a dude that goes to most of the movies he sees alone.
Yeah.
You're not used to talking to other dudes who do the same thing. It's kind of a code. It's like talking next to one another at the urinal. You just don't. It's not a good hang. You don't do it, right?
A good
hang.
Yeah, got good hang. Is that what you said?
Yeah. We compared notes after.
Okay, all right. I really didn't have anything happen interesting to me. No old people in my seats. No people whispering in my ear. And Christina, what happened to you?
The snoring guy.
The snoring guy. I didn't have any of that. But yeah, you know what? I saw ahead that there were not post-credit scenes. So I looked on that online and I got out of there and there were a lot of people just sitting there waiting for something and I could just see I wanted to yell to everyone in the crowd, there's no post credits. But
Yeah.
anyway.
I told the guy that was by me, I was like, yeah, I just checked it. There's no post credit scene. We can escape now.
Yeah.
We're not gonna miss
We
anything.
can escape. All right.
We befriended the people beside us too. Actually,
You
the
befriended
guy
them?
beside me at the end there, where there. Okay, spoiler time. There's one part where the Kraven launches a dude crotch first into a tree stump, and he just
I
gets
saw that, yeah.
obliterated. And both of us just went, "Oh!" and then like instantly bonded, and we're just like best friends for the last bit of the movie. And then he left, like he like got up as the credits rolling. He was like, the dude nod and nodded back, and that was it. It was
There you
beautiful.
go.
I'll never see him again.
I know exactly what the dude nod is. That's funny.
Brooklyn, are you learning a lot about male communication from Josh? Just the ways that we, just sort of,
we grunt.
Yeah.
All right, let's go around the horn for grades. Off the top, we will start with Christina. What is your grade for the film?
Oh, good Lord.
So GL, good Lord. Okay.
No, I think I'm gonna give it a C. I gave Madam Web a C.
Yeah.
Do I like this more than Madam Web? That's the question. Somebody's blowing out firecrackers behind me.
At least they're not snoring.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go with C for very average movie.
C for average. All right, George, what is your grade, sir?
I give this a C plus.
A C plus. Okay. Brooklyn, what do you got? What's your grade?
We never did grades like that in school, so I don't know how they work. So
what are Canadian grades? I'm curious.
No, made up. That's like C consistently did this. U usually did this.
Good
S
Lord.
sometimes did it.
Okay, so what's the highest grade you can get? What's in like the second highest?
Just do it. One
it was like
being
10% to 100%. So
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, give us a percentage. We can figure that out with our conversion over here.
45%.
That's an F.
Wow.
That's
a bad
Okay.
grade. Okay. All right, Josh, are you failing or passing?
I'm not doing well. Oh gosh. D.
A D. Okay.
Okay.
So that is a 60 and a 60 to 69%.
Yeah, to be fair, I've read 60 years of comics. You none of that.
All right. So basically what we're going to do, let's see. We're going to share this window. I've got a little Google Doc going, and those are our grades. We're going to list some pros and cons at the end. I will share the doc about what we think about pros and
So
cons.
Brad, you're giving it a C. You didn't say.
Yes, I apologize. I'm giving it also a C.
Okay.
I thought it was an average movie, and we'll discuss why I think it's an average movie as we go. So
You have to understand though, an average movie for Sony
Oh yeah,
Not bad.
is a step up.
Right.
yeah, right.
It's like you look at Sony like, oh, look at you.
Yep.
Look at you wanting to
And
be
Josh,
a
I
big
do remember
studio.
from last night's ASM episode, we're going to rank the Sony movies
Yes.
that are non-Spider-Man. The
Oh.
fans have asked us to do this. They did last night too. So
Yeah,
we're going to
Mary.
rank where this lands between Venom 1, 2, 3, Morbius, Madam Web, and Kraven. Right? I think that's all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, there's 6 of them.
Gosh, I hope so.
There are six.
Okay.
Yep.
So pros. What did people like? Christina, we started with you. Let's start again.
I don't know if Aaron Taylor Johnson's the best fit, but I actually did like him as Kraven.
You liked the
so
casting of Kraven. Okay.
I did. And I did think some of the action was pretty good and stuff. So
Yeah, I thought he moved not like a superhero. I mean, escaping the prison, jumping in the cars, etc. I thought the scene where he was trying to rescue his brother was well done. I thought that looked cool too. Him in the white shirt in the city, that looked cool.
yeah, I like that too. Let me see what else. Trying to think. I
that's it.
did. I did. Hang on. I got something. I did like it though, but that might be a negative too. How we saw his brother revealed to be Chameleon at the end.
Oh,
That was comic
Yeah.
accurate. So
Yeah.
Well, I think it was very 90s cartoon accurate. I mean,
Yeah.
which they've kind of adapted what that looks like for Chameleon, I think. George, what do you think? Is that because isn't that more 90s cartoon, that white square looking face?
No, it looked a lot like his mask from the comics, Brad.
Oh, okay. I thought
I'm,
just
I'm going to
looked
agree with Christina and tell you to maybe shut your pie hole.
Dang.
He
Simmer
really
down
didn't
now,
like
all
those
right?
gifts earlier.
wow.
You get a cat and you get catty, all right? Chill, all right?
Ooh.
Wow. All right. We'll go to Brooklyn and Josh. Keep you for last. All right, Brooklyn, Josh, what's some pros out of you two? What'd you guys like?
Did you like anything? You gave it an F. So
She liked the end credits when it was done.
it was good, right? Yeah.
I don't know. The acting for me was better than Madame Web, definitely.
Yeah.
So I was glad. about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Dakota
But
Johnson.
I like the action scenes for sure. The there was a couple times there where I'm trying to figure out the story as it's going along, and like
Mhm.
this is pro/con. Like this had the potential to be a good story if it wasn't these characters. Like if it wasn't Kraven, if it wasn't Chameleon, if it was like I could see this be, if this was a completely like they created new characters for this, probably would have been a better story. But the fact that I know it's Kraven the Hunter and it's not really Kraven the Hunter on there just kind of ruined it a bit. But it did, like I could see it being a better story.
One of my favorite scenes was the sniffing of the cheating boyfriend when
Oh,
he walked
yeah.
by. I thought that was that got a legit laugh out of me.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty good. You probably should tell her. I thought that was pretty good. I also thought the Calypso 1, 2, 3, that she dropped the MF. I thought that was pretty funny. I
Yes.
laughed there. I don't think I laughed at all in Madam Web, with the exception of when the ambulance hit people 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I
Yeah.
thought that was unintentionally funny. But George, pros, what'd you like? What's some good things you like?
Well, stuff that's already been mentioned. I liked the performances. I liked Aaron Taylor Johnson. I
Yeah.
liked the guy that played his brother. The chameleon. It was okay.
Yeah.
He was okay. I loved Russell Crowe.
Mhm.
I thought Russell Crowe did a really good job. The gal that played Calypso, I thought
Yeah.
did really well. Although Calypso was kind of all over the place in this movie. But no, she did a good job with what she was given, I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah,
She's a lot less crazy, I think, in this movie as opposed to the books.
well,
she's
I
just
that
nuts.
part I didn't like. In the book, she's supposed to, she's nuts. Yeah. In the movie, I would have preferred that because in the movie, it's like, oh, my granny taught me the juju, and oh, I'm a lawyer now, and I'm like, what the hell? Because
Yeah.
in the comic book, she's just a voodoo priestess with legitimate issues.
Yeah.
So whatever. This is somebody who like sacrificed her own sister, and resurrected her own body at one point when she'd been killed. So she's out there. I would have liked to have seen that reflected more in this film, but I thought the actress did a good job with what they gave her.
And refresh me on Kraven's origin, how he got his powers. I do think he was like Captain America. He did get some sort of serum, right, in the books.
No, well, I think he has like in more recent times, but like early on, he was just really strong and a really good fighter and a really good tracker, like in the Ditko days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember him
Yeah.
getting off the boat in the Ditko issues.
Yeah, that was pretty much his thing. Was just he this is a dude that's like used to fighting lions hand to hand.
Yeah.
So by Stan Lee's reckoning, oh yeah, he could maybe give Spider-Man a run for his money. Now that doesn't stand up so much today when we're like, well, Spider-Man can take out a Herald of Galactus. So I felt like they tried to give us a Kraven that was more of a match for modern Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate that.
Yeah.
I didn't hate that. I liked how his powers were reflected. He wasn't completely invincible. He wasn't bulletproof.
Right.
So he knew when he had to get out of the way. He was like an interesting mix of like skill, instinct, and tactician thinking. Tactics. Like knowing like, okay, I'm this fast, but I've got to be over here because they're going to shoot at me this way, so I've got to run this way. And I think it worked out really well. The action scenes in this film are really its strength.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about. Go ahead.
Also, the Rhino was a quasi positive.
Oh.
And that this is the most Rhino we've actually gotten.
Yeah.
That's truer to the character than what we had in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Right. Yeah.
Where they just had a guy come out in literally a suit of armor. Oh, I am Rhino. Oh, I'm just, stop. No.
We'll get there.
Should we get to Rhino, or should we just move on to wait for cons for me? Is Rhino a pro for you, George?
Well, I mean, I liked how it was at the end, and I thought, okay, well, if you're not gonna, do an actual, comic from, lift it from the page rendition of Rhino, which no one ever will, which is sad, but I thought they did a good job.
Okay,
I thought they did a good job with him.
I am on the complete opposite end of George on the Rhino. I think this was horrible. I think they portrayed the Rhino absolutely.
It's the face, because if they would have had
Awful.
normal human face surrounded just by gray like it is in the comics, that would have been fine. I think that would have made it look better.
Let me summarize what the Rhino is. He is a dude that's a gangster with a backpack and an insulin pump on his side. That is not the Rhino.
Right.
I mean, the Rhino, he's not very bright. He doesn't transform like the Hulk. He doesn't get rock skin like that. He puts on a freaking suit.
He doesn't put the suit on.
The suit was put on him, and he can't get it off.
Yeah, that's traditionally how he's depicted. Yeah,
and I think Paul Giamatti did better with Amazing Spider-Man 2's Rhino.
You were high on crack cocaine.
Mountain Dew, baby. That's it.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. Let's go. George and I are on opposite ends. Brooklyn and Josh, what do you think? Rhino, pro or a con? What's your thoughts on this monstrosity?
Oh yeah, what a leading question. Mr.
I know, right?
What are your thoughts?
I don't know. To me, it was just creepy looking. That's pretty much all.
Yeah, it was there.
It was there.
Like, even the actor didn't do it for me. Like, I didn't like any of that.
Okay, and I guess we're already starting to go into cons a bit, but
no, George is a pro, and I'm a con. So
I'm a pro in that I liked how he was depicted. When he finally, was like, rhinoed out or whatever. As for the human part of him and that whole stuff, with his story and him leading a criminal, I could have cared less about that.
Yeah,
I wasn't invested in that at all. It was boring to me.
The one part I'll never get over in that movie is where someone tells him some news, like Kraven's alive or dead or something, and he just goes,
yes.
Oh, yeah,
what was
that?
What was that? So weird. Our entire audience laughed their butts off. I don't know what.
I thought he was having a seizure. What was going on there?
I don't know. It looked like he was trying to cough back up food for his baby Rhino to eat. It just
It's like he had a fur ball. If he was a cat, he was hawking up something.
Oh,
jeez,
that was weird.
That was so strange. George, you couldn't have liked that, did you?
No, it didn't make any damn sense.
No, not at all.
And it would have been so much better visually if for most of the movie it was just like Kraven fighting the Rhino, and the Rhino was like a big Hulk or the Thing type bruiser guy. It would have been so much better.
And he took him out. It's so fast. And the Rhino can take a beating better than that, and he doesn't have a weak insulin pump on the side of him. Well, I mean, in the backpack, what?
The thing is that with Kraven's actually a skilled fighter. Rhino is just like, oh, smash you. He's just going there and
him and the Hulk go back mano a mano often.
So that does. I mean, who am I going to vote for, or who am I going to bet on? If Batman fights the Hulk. Probably Batman. So it's that kind of a thing. It's I can see him taking him down that fast because Kraven is actually thinking and not just trying to win over with brute power, which he knows he's not going to.
We have
I-
Hosa Taco. At least it wasn't mechanical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Taco.
I did like the part where he picks up the whole tank or truck or whatever there. Like it did look like, okay, this is how Rhino would fight, not
Yes.
beating his chest and then running on mechanical arms.
Joey Z says the Rhino in the video game would work. I agree. The Rhino in the video game looks better than what we got. Just ugly. Just can't stand the actor. Can't stand the look, etc. Joey C says Ryan Coogler wanted to use Kraven in the opening fight scene of Black Panther, but Sony vetoed it. Apparently also wanted to use him in No Way Home at the multiverse stuff, but didn't pan out.
Yep.
So, number one Marvel fan says lots of action, but was very
Yes.
So
Let's
talk a little. Oh, go ahead,
Question
Josh.
for you guys, because I heard the name, but I don't know much about him. How accurate was the Foreigner in this?
Not at all.
Cool. Okay, that's what I thought.
None.
Not at
Okay.
all. In
There
the
you
comic
go.
book, Foreigner has no powers at all. He definitely doesn't go 1, 2, and then kill you. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
what was that? What was that?
No clue.
It just seemed like he had super speed, and because you saw that one scene when he looked like he had slowed down time because he had seemed to stopped, and then he turned that one guy's gun to him, and it just we'll get to there. So
I think it was kind of like what the Shadow does in the old pulp novels, where because he has ways of like making people not see him. Like he can like be standing in a room with them. He doesn't talk, he doesn't do anything, but for whatever reason, he's already like made people in the room not see him.
Like he has no powers is what I've always
In the
gathered.
comic book, he doesn't. He has a gun.
He's got a gun. I mean, I think they just wanted to use the name. They should have just created an original IP.
They were trying to cram too much into it.
It seemed like Sony was trying to let's put as many Spider-Man characters in this so that Marvel can't use it. Like when they name dropped Miles Warren in there.
Absolutely.
we'll talk about that. So
When they name drop Miles Warren, I'm like, got to blame the Jackal for more crap.
Yeah.
Is what I saw.
I was never more excited about the Sony universe of Marvel characters dying than I was at that moment, and I realized they were trying to set up. Let's get to the Clone Saga. I was like, oh sweet Christ, thank you. That's dead.
Did they say Miles is dead?
No,
Miles Warren?
they hint that he's still alive because the
That's what I thought.
chameleon at the end talks about going to see a doctor in New York.
Right.
Yeah.
And who was the one that was told about the doctor in New York? Well, that was Rhino telling Chameleon about that.
Yeah.
So I think they were intimating that he was alive, and I think they in their grand plan, this is where they were heading towards that was their end game of the Sony Sony universe of Marvel characters was the.
What do we think of this actor playing the chameleon?
I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like he did seem like the scrawny guy that can't really use his strength, but he does know how to like mimic other voice. Like it kind of made sense the way they played it.
I like the way they did the voices. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
How they established that early on. I liked that. I got no real beef with how they did Chameleon.
Mhm.
It's just
I liked that he owned his own club and like that made sense. I actually really liked that choice there.
It made sense to be doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And be his own man. But I was, at the end, I was kind of like, well, that's cool. We had the Chameleon. Why didn't we do stuff with him instead of wasting stuff with the Foreigner?
Yeah, I don't
wasting
get
all
the
that time with the Foreigner. Yeah.
Who else did they name drop? They had Rhino, Chameleon, Kraven, Calypso, Miles Warren. Am I forgetting one?
Foreigner.
Yeah.
Urgent.
What else did Foreigner sing?
I want to know what love is. I want you to.
Yeah, but
show
what
me.
they sing? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know the name of that song, but that's what they Cold as Ice.
I remember that.
That was a good song.
What love is.
Cold,
I want you to show me.
as. All these young people don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Oh no,
I do.
No.
I do.
Thank you. Yeah, Joey Z, we've got the Sinister Six. No, get Morbius out of there. But we have Doc Ock, we have Electro, we've seen Kraven, we've seen Vulture. No, get Null out of there too.
No, they said versus Null. They're saying the Sinister Six.
Yeah, these are the characters that Sony has: Morbius, Chameleon, Kraven, Venom, Vulture, Jackal versus Null.
It's a big sausage party versus Null.
Jeez. I'm good. I'm good. What else? Any other pros for that? Anything we haven't mentioned?
I think I've gone over all my pros. I didn't get over. I don't know. I've only got like one or two cons really.
Do we like the new origin of Kraven? A little bit of blood getting mixed in from the tiger, and a little bit of
I think
potion and a tiger and some blood and a little bit of Monica in my life. And sorry, that's a little different.
Are you finished? Are you finished?
No.
Can we answer now?
Yes.
All right. I think for your average moviegoer, they had to find a way to plus Kraven somehow. Otherwise, they're going to be like JR saying, well, why didn't Spider-Man just like literally kicking the shit out of this guy? You know? Because same way that JR is like that with the Kingpin. Now, I have, established every time Spider-Man fights the Kingpin, he is usually less by some magnitude. Right. He's injured. He's been gassed. Something's happened. So,
can you see Tom Holland going up against this guy?
Yes, actually.
Really? You can't talk, Josh. What can you see?
I can kind of see like there's certain age dynamics that I think work with certain characters. Why I don't see Tom Holland right now being a mentor to Miles ever, because he's too young of a Spider-Man to do that. Where in the comics it kind of works.
Well, now he's close to 30.
Yeah, but his Peter Parker's only 18.
Right.
Yeah, so
college,
he could be 45. His Peter Parker's still going to be like 19 and a half.
Yeah,
right.
But like, despite Spider-Man, yeah, he actually fought Kraven when he was like in high school. Yeah. It always like these famous Kraven stories in comics always happen when he's like much older, and I don't think you can have a proper Kraven's Last Hunt thing without both of these actors being older. And if they're both younger, they could kind of get to that point. So I think if we wanted to do 5-10 years down the road, have Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter and Tom Holland as Peter Parker. Once they got to that age, I think they'd be at a right age gap to do Kraven's Last Hunt. That being said, it requires Tom Holland's Peter Parker to be married, and then that whole thing, and it's not going to happen.
It requires a gun at the end and a coffin with Kraven too.
Yeah,
that'd be Kraven's Last Hunt. Yeah,
I kept thinking about that while watching Aaron Taylor Johnson's Kraven. Is like I never got the feeling this dude could blow his own head off with a rifle.
Yeah,
the way Kraven did.
Did they imply that his mother did that? Like she did it with the rifle? I totally at the very end, again spoilers, when Dad left Kraven a gift, I thought it was going to be a coffin and a shotgun. I really thought that's what it was going to be. Like
that would have made sense.
Like your mother is what I thought he was going to do, but I didn't expect the suit. So anyway,
I mean, I kind of
she went into the mental hospital or something because she had, I think it was because she got the poison that Foreigner was using on Kraven.
Maybe. I don't know.
I thought his mother had developed mental problems or something, being married to his father, and she looked like she was in a mental institution. But when he got the serum, it was like he was experiencing what his mother was going through. That's how I got it.
Could be. She might have been in Ravencroft. Yeah.
Oh, and we had a Daily Bugle reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
In there, I saw that. I don't remember any other Spider-Man related stuff. Oh, well, the spiders came down on Kraven. Maybe he got scared of spiders that way.
Yeah.
I don't. That seemed a little forced. I don't know.
In the comics, Kraven's never been scared of spiders.
No. Yeah. All right. Time for cons. Josh, lead it off. What do we got?
Oh boy.
Okay. How do I put that in? How do I write that in the doc?
NHARRRR.
NHARRR. Okay, it's in the doc now. Okay, we will know what that means when we get there.
Brad, you're not doing it any better than the Rhino. It's still annoying and off-putting. Just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely big.
The random seizure you didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about some of them already. Of the fact that Rhino, is just like insulin and the weird design he had. That there are a ton of problems of this movie.
Yeah.
It just happens to be a little better than the other crap Sony's put out.
Yeah. I think what do you think? Do you think if Morbius and Madam Web didn't come out in front of this, do you think there would not be so much talk of the end of the Sony Spider-Man non-Spider-Man universe?
Yeah, I don't know. The fact that it came out the same weekend that this movie opened, like, hey, this we're done, but here's our last garbage movie. Like, just I don't know. Something's fishy about that. Maybe we'll have another Sony leak.
I don't understand why they released 3 of them in 1 year.
A lot of it was the strikes, and I know with Madam Web they moved that to February so that the actors could promote it. And then it was kind of the same thing with Kraven as well. And then Matt Tolmack said they were trying to take advantage of like the holiday and stuff. That's why they moved Kraven to December.
This doesn't seem like a holiday movie. I mean, I don't get it. This
Happy
seems like
birthday,
a
Jesus. Let's grab the kids and go see Kraven.
I know. This looks like a summer blockbuster movie. Like this, I mean, this should have been released in the summer. It seems like that would have been.
This seems like one of those movies that you do between February and summer.
No,
Just-
it's not,
just
not
because
quite.
It's not summer good, but you want to. Oh yeah, this is what we're doing. Here we go.
Hey,
You know,
let's
so
get you out
Here's
in the
our
theater.
movie. Get ready for the next one we do in the summer.
you don't have a movie good enough to be a summer movie, but you want to pretend.
Yeah.
Sort of like
Yeah,
Jerry Jones.
release it in April. It's your lead up.
Sort
Well,
of like Jerry Jones overpays mediocre players to pretend he has big boy elite talent.
Is that foreshadowing of the new Captain America movie?
That's foreshadowing of the current Dallas Cowboys.
No, I meant, I meant is Marvel releasing Captain America in February because they don't think it's good enough for a big summer blockbuster?
No,
Oh.
that's because it's Black History Month.
Yeah.
That and
didn't think of
it's not testing well. Every time they test it, the audiences, just tell them no, this is
It's Red
trash.
Hulk.
We don't like
Which
this.
is really disappointing because I'm actually looking forward to that based off the trailers.
Me
I wanna-
too. Red Hulk. Yeah.
I want to say something about that. The
Yeah.
stuff that there's different stuff going on online saying that it's not testing well, but then some people are coming out saying no, that's not true because they reshot some of the movie, and then there's been rumors saying they reshot the whole thing, and then only some of it only got reshot. But it's like you can't really believe everything you hear on the internet about it not testing well, because some people are saying that's not why they reshot it, and because of the test screenings or whatever. So
If the test screenings were terrible, that's exactly what I would say. Well, you can't believe all this test screening stuff.
yeah, but they're saying that's not even true. That's not the reason why they're reshooting stuff because it tested poorly or anything like
And
that.
there's also, again, you can't believe what you see on the internet except for here.
Yeah.
But why would Sony say, "Yep, this is it. This is the end of our Sony universe"? Why would anyone say that with a movie coming out? That would
It's
hurt
the
them.
all press is good press nonsense view where like they did the same thing where like, oh, we're gonna end up Spider-Man Far From Home. And then, all of a sudden everyone got in an uproar and be like, what? How could you leave on that cliffhanger? And Tom Holland called and made it another deal for us. It's just trying to push anything.
Well, they're actually not ending it. They're putting it on hold for now. And then I don't know if you guys are aware, but Variety put out an article, I want to say this morning, saying why they never used the Spider-Man in these spin-off movies. For whatever reason, after Venom got released and that made a bunch of money, they figured they didn't need to use Spider-Man. So they could have used Spider-Man in these movies, and they just chose not to because Venom was a success. So it's their stupidity.
Well, the thing about Sony putting, taking Spider-Man. Now, here's the thing. Taking Spider-Man can be done different ways because you could put Spider-Man into these films and not have to have Tom Holland in them.
Yes.
Yeah, they put baby Peter Parker in Madam Web, right?
Yeah, they did.
And no, I mean, like, you could just have Spider-Man in there.
Yeah.
Showing up and fighting them, and then them like, oh, I hate this guy, whoever he is. And giving them all a reason to hate him, and then doing a big Sinister Six movie later or whatever you want to do. But I can see where Sony, Sony, you have to remember, Sony doesn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so when they do stuff, they're looking for any ways to cut corners or, they're trying to do the best they can to make as much as they can and cut where they can so that they can, get these movies out and hopefully they're going to score more, symbiote gold. like
that's your
vinegar.
con. The cutting corners on the CGI. The bear, the lion, and the cougar thing all looked bad.
They all walk in a bar. What? The bear, the lion, and the
Yeah.
cougar.
No, but every time they lunged forward or jumped, it just looked like a human frame with
That
like,
that bear was massive.
Yeah, it looked like the Disney Lion King is what I thought it looked like.
Yeah.
So CGI of bears, lions, and tigers. Oh my! What'd you say?
Yeah.
Bears,
Was it a
lions,
snow leopard or
snow leopard.
That was a
okay.
leopard. It looked like.
yeah, leopard?
Yep. Christina, I found the article you're talking about with the
Yep.
headline. Even after Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web, Sony's Marvel movies are not dead. Exclusive.
Yep.
So here you go. And here's your quote that you were talking about. Where I saw it just a second ago.
I think there was accountants at Sony, or who probably went to Amy Pascal and said, after waiting for her to, waiting for the medication to wear off, they talked to Amy Pascal and they were like, okay, listen, we can't just keep making bad movies that don't make a lot of money. Eventually, we're going to run out of money.
According to one Sony source, the deal with Disney never precluded Sony from using Spider-Man in its movies that didn't bear his name. The Spider-Verse movies, profusion of Peter Parker's, Gwen Stacy, and other variants certainly bears that out. But there was a feeling within the studio that audiences would not accept Tom Holland's Spider-Man suddenly popping up in a live-action film that wasn't part of the MCU, especially after Spider-Man No Way Home and the Marvel Studios' Project Loki and Doctor Strange established definitive boundaries to the Marvel Universe.
That would have been the bigger selling point.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't have been, I want to go see this Kraven movie because Kraven's always interested in me. To be like, I want to go see Kraven because Spider-Man kicks the shit out of Kraven.
Yeah. Do you think that Sony didn't want to spend the money to write a check to Tom Holland to get him in here?
But the thing is, they could have cast another Spider-Man, not have a Tom Holland. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Well,
it kind of
that's-
just sounds that they're like, oh, we don't think we actually need to use Spider-Man, which is stupid. But
Yeah.
Well, if let's say they want to go back and say, okay, well, we're going to use Andrew.
Yeah,
we're
they
going to
can
make
do
it.
that.
They
But
probably can't afford him at this point either.
I was about to say they can't afford Andrew. They can't afford Toby.
I'll do it.
They can't even.
Josh,
Yeah.
Josh will do it
I'm in.
cheap.
Let me be the new Sony Spider-Man.
They would
Yeah.
have to not hire a Peter Parker and just have somebody in the suit.
Yeah.
It's
And
not like
may-
they haven't done that before, though. They did that for like the.
Yeah, no, I mean they could have done it, and I don't know why they didn't. Which makes me think because Amy Pascal, if she could have done that, she would have.
So they could have made it like a voiceover deal. Where Tom Holland just came in, did lines, and a dude in a Spider-Man suit showed up in Kraven, showed up in Venom.
Tom Holland to do lines is going to charge them an arm and a leg.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to
hire
they wouldn't have
Josh
paid that.
Keaton or hire
Yeah.
They'd have
someone,
hired Dave Fuentes from down the street.
Dave Fuentes. If he does sound like a Peter Parker, feel free. Yes, I mean
Who they
you
can
could.
get for scale.
Exactly. I mean, just have him about the same frame as Tom Holland. You're good. You're good. Brooklyn, what didn't you dig about the movie? What's some of your cons?
There was one part where like the guy's blood and like the lion's blood was mixing and it was like going into the bloodstream and whatever.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I was watching like a Magic School Bus episode.
You and I remember Magic School Bus very differently.
Wow.
Okay, what am I? I'm writing down. Blood transfusion felt like a magic.
Kids
school-
shows are all
Yeah, like
different.
Wow.
one was and they just, yeah, okay.
I
No,
know.
get it. Wow.
Wow.
That's. See, this is why we have the new Spider-Man fans on the show. We wouldn't have gotten that perspective without you.
Wow.
Oh, Magic School Bus. Yeah.
Magic School blood transfusion episode. Yeah.
What else
What
you got?
else didn't you dig?
Apparently, Magic School Bus is like Chucky up there, Brad.
We got different episodes in Canada. Anything else you didn't care for? Any cons?
I can't really think of anything. That was like the main thing that just kind of
It's
threw
just the
me
blood.
off.
The blood transfusion,
Wow.
the origin story. What do we think of Russell Crowe? I thought he did a good job as the dad. He was very intimidating. People are complaining about his Russian accent. I didn't mind it.
I think he would have made a good Kraven.
I think he would have been a good Kraven too.
Kraven is circa his Gladiator 1 era.
Oh yeah,
Heck
absolutely.
yeah, man. He was built for it.
I love the way he was saying their last name all the time. Kravenov.
Kravenov.
Yeah.
Yes, Kravenov.
I don't like his end speech though, where he's like, "You have such a better power than yourself. You have me." I'm like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah.
Jeez. Talk about daddy
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. Other cons.
I like that, even though they had a strained relationship.
Yeah.
You know that, Chameleon wasn't gonna like backstab him. You know.
Yeah.
I like, when you told Rhino, but it's still my dad, dude. I'm not gonna betray my family. I thought that was cool.
That was good, man.
What do you think of Miles Warren being involved with the giving of the superpowers?
I don't
We had a
like it.
similar idea in Spec Spidey, right? Like Miles kind of teamed up with Dr. Connors for a bit there and had him. Sorry, the cartoon show.
I
Had him kind of give it, like some of these guys' powers or kind of tamper it with it a bit.
I forgot about that. Yeah. But I'm used to him more having him doing cloning, so I necessarily wasn't a big fan of him giving people animal powers and stuff. So
yeah, it just seemed weird.
It's too similar to how they were doing those Mark Webb Amazing Spider-Man films, with Garfield, where
everything was Oscorp.
Everything was Oscorp.
Yeah.
It's just it's at the end of the day, it's lazy. It's lazy storytelling. Same way as like everything Spider-Man comes from Tony Stark.
Right.
You know.
Well, it just seems like they're trying to name drop, and again, I'm a Spider-Man geek, so when I heard Miles Warren, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
But
see, I'm a Spider-Man geek. When I heard Miles Warren, I was like,
oh well, absolutely.
It got the old man saga.
Yeah.
But yeah, I who could have been a better name drop than Miles Warren in this universe?
Anybody?
I thought it would have been funny if they just mentioned what was Mysterio's therapist name?
I don't know.
Oh,
The only one
she became that Red Goblin gal.
No.
Actually-
Sorry. When he was a therapist.
When he was a therapist, remember when he was Mary Jane's therapist, Brad?
That's right.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Like
Back
if they
during-
just used some, like it wasn't supposed to be that, but just
Jonathan
name drops
Caesar.
like that.
Jonathan Caesar, is that who you're talking about? No, that was the
No.
Stalker.
No.
He's literally talking about Mysterio.
My bad. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Mysterio is not Jonathan Caesar, Brad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Spider Jeopardy is going to be a lot more fun.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here you go. Vincent
Oh.
Stegron would have been a good. He was the one that made people animals. What do you think of that, George?
That-
It would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the women Sony put Stegron in a film. Like Stegron's first appearance would have been a name drop in a film of Kraven the Hunter.
On the one hand, I would love to see Kraven in a film or Stegron in a film. On the other hand, do I trust Amy Pascal to be able to pull that off? No.
I want to say something about that. Amy Pascal isn't producing all these movies. She's doing the Spider-Verse movies, and she only did, I think, the Venom film. She was not on Madam Web. She wasn't on this one, and I don't think she was on. I don't think she was on Morbius either. She was only doing some of these.
Venkman got it in the chat. Sorry, Dr. Ludwig Reinhardt.
Okay.
Who is Dr. Ludwig Reinhardt? Who's that?
That was just Mysterio's fake name for
Yeah.
being a therapist.
That's right. Gotcha. Yeah. And if you're wondering who George keeps talking about, this is her. This is Amy Pascal. There she is.
She's
in
most-
the membrane.
Yeah, she's
Inside
mostly
the brain.
concentrating on the Spider-Verse movies, and she's the one producing with Kevin Feige on the MCU Spider-Man films. But she only, I think, did the Venom films and stuff. Her name wasn't on this one, so.
Do we think, what would a sequel be for this? What would we do? There's probably not going to be one because it's not making much money.
I know Aaron Taylor Johnson and J.C. Chandler wanted to do Kraven's Last Hunt, but the question is, how are they going to do it without Spider-Man?
Yeah, you can't do that story
can't.
without Spider-Man. Yeah.
Right.
And the ending, he dies. I mean, that's a.
Plus, your general mainstream audience, I don't think wants a Spider-Man movie where somebody blows their own head off.
Yeah,
Right.
It's too
Yeah.
dark. No, there's no
just-
way. There's no way. Spider-Man's meant for kids, and that's.
I
way
get
too
that
dark.
everyone at Marvel wants to ape it. For
Oh,
Marvel, Kraven's Last Hunt is The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
for Marvel Comics, and so every new writer wants to add their own wrinkle or do their own take or reimagine it or whatever the hell. And after a while, you're like, oh, another Last Hunt story. Great.
We got Jack saying, "Oh, OMG, it's Spider-Man Cross." One of my former students. What's going on, Jack? How are you, buddy? We got Joey Z saying, "Who would play Stegron? Daniel Day-Lewis?"
Well, Daniel Day-Lewis is retired now from acting.
Yeah.
Yep.
So probably not.
Okay.
I don't know. Quit coming at me with these Stegron questions that I never thought about. I don't know who would play Vincent Stegron.
I tell you.
You know who it is? David Strathairn.
Who? All right.
David
Googling
Strathairn.
it. David what?
David Strathairn. He's been in a billion movies. If you see him, you've seen him before. Hang on.
Oh, that guy. Okay, here I got it. This guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What's he been in?
Oh.
He's been in literally every movie, like ever.
Hold
okay.
on. Let's go back. Let's go look what he's been in. Wikipedia it is. Okay. He's been in. Let's do modern stuff. Okay, yes, Wikipedia. We love you.
Yeah, Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Godzilla?
He played it. Yeah, he was a military guy. Yeah.
And Godzilla in 2014.
2014.
I recognize him. I don't recognize any of these
Spiderwick
movies.
Chronicles. The Bourne Ultimatum. LA Confidential. Yep. Anyway, yeah, I've seen the guy. Good character actor.
Yeah, he is a good actor.
He'd be doing a lot of CGI work. So
Yeah.
Any other cons before you start ranking this stuff and wrapping it up? Okay, Christina, go ahead.
There were some things that they were talking about in this movie, and they contradicted themselves a lot. Like, I know one time they were talking about how Sergei wasn't there for his brother, not when he left, but before. And I'm like, well, yes, he was. They were thick as thieves before he left, and then but I was trying to think of what else. The line delivery that Calypso says about, you might have seen this floating online, where she says that her grandmother died and then she never saw her again.
Oh yeah,
that delivery and stuff, and then
that happens to millions of Americans. That happens to millions of people around the world.
What was interesting too is that Rhino's the one that hired the foreigner, and then when the foreigner breaks into his hideout, it didn't seem like he knew him, because they were talking about why he was even going after Kraven to begin with, and it's like, weren't you the one that hired him? And then they bounced around a lot between either dealing with his father, and they said he was a drug dealer, and I thought he was a mobster.
I thought he just did hunting stuff.
Mobsters can be drug dealers, especially Russians.
Okay, I'll go with that. And then
Brooklyn looks uncomfortable, like she has experience with Russian mobsters.
You ever run with the mob, Brooklyn?
And then
there's the mob up in Canada. In there, is there mobs in Canada?
No, that's just called the North End, and it's
okay.
Yeah, and then I just felt like the film was just kind of bland, and then the color palette of this movie was very bland as well, to go with the blandness of the movie itself. But what's interesting is that JC Chandler and them, they had time to work on this movie like they did Morbius, so this movie should have been better, like Morbius should have been better, and unfortunately it wasn't.
Well, this movie was never going to be better than its script, and its script had a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like you pointed out, stuff like my grandma died and I never saw her again. You know.
Yeah.
The question for everyone.
Yeah.
What Spider-Man a character would you watch a movie of? Because we get a lot, like Venom, Morbius, Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter. What's one that you would actually like want?
I mean, I said this on a show previously. I think Kraven has the potential to be running solo, if done right. I also thought Venom could go without Spider-Man if you absolutely had to. But for the life of me, I can't think of. I mean, the Punisher. Punisher is a Spider-Man villain, or a Spider-Man character introduced in Spider-Man.
I want a Laverne and Shirley type sitcom with Betty and Glory Grant, where they're just, two young women trying to make their way in this crazy world.
Right. In like the 60s, 70s, where Glory's got the giant afro and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think George and I have talked about this before. I would love almost like a Disney Plus show, basically rip it straight from Superior Foes of Spider-Man, where it's just about Boomerang and his cast there. Just have a weekly episode, do the 17 issues just straight right there. I think that would do so well.
Superior Foes of Spider-Man would have been a better way to go.
No, absolutely.
For this Sony universe than what they did.
And that's why you wouldn't have to use Peter Parker, because you'd be like, oh, this is why we're not using Spider-Man. It's because it's actually Doc Ock right now.
And it gives you a chance to, step your foot into so many corners of the Spider universe. The Magia.
But again, why are we taking the chocolate away from the peanut butter? Let's put Spider-Man with these people. They're better with. I don't understand. I mean, just is this preventing us from seeing Kraven fight Spider-Man because he has an own solo movie?
Yes.
I mean, we're not like anybody else out there in the public, Brad, except for Brooklyn, whose boyfriend drags her to see these things. But I mean, like all of us here, we're going to go see the Kraven movie just because we're going to talk about it later.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, most of the country, I think if you were to do exit polling when people are coming out of Kraven, and say, oh, hey, what's your feedback? I'm sure a lot of people would say would have loved to see Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Spider-Man being in this would have made it kick ass.
Yeah.
It's funny when people watch this solely going to these things. Like, we're all nerds. Sorry. All of us are nerds about Spider-Man and Marvel and all this stuff. We know all this stuff there. And so, we talked about this on Man and Web, where some of the actors didn't even know this was not an MCU film. And all the time people are like, saying, oh, it's an association with Marvel. They're like, okay, the only difference I knew is that it didn't show Captain America at the beginning logo thing. I couldn't tell you that. But then they see the movie and they're like, I don't know any of these characters at all. Or I think Rhino might be a Spider-Man villain. Like, I know that's your exact experience in the movie. But that no one knows the differences here other than us,
But Brooklyn, as an outsider, right, as someone who's just learning the ways of
the web,
the ways of Spider-Man, but just as a general person out there in the movie-going public, wouldn't you have rather seen Spider-Man in here kicking somebody's ass?
Yeah.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah. There you go.
See, she speaks for all of us. We all.
There you go, Sony. I just did your marketing for you.
There you go.
Put the check in the mail.
Put Spider-Man in these movies, and you will make more money.
There you go.
There's your secret sauce, people. All right, I've got a thing that we're going to go around. We're going to play a little game. All right, get ready. We're going to rank the Sony movies. Okay, I'll go first. All right.
Brad learned about the tiers.
No.
So
we're
now
not going to do these Spider-Man movies. We're going to do the ones that do not include Spider-Man.
Well, then why the hell are they down there at the bottom as options?
Because this is the closest one I could find. So we got Kraven, we got Madam Web, we got Morbius, we've got Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Venom: The Last Dance. So
pause before we rank all these.
Yes, sir.
Is this going to be based off of is S tier out of all movies ever, or is it S tier in these specific 6?
I think he's talking about just the Sony stuff.
Just the Sony how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, technically
6,
these
5.
are all Sony. I think he's talking about just like the Sony universe of Marvel characters.
Of the Sony verse that does not include the Spider-Man movies.
Venom, Morbius, Kraven.
Just of these Web. 6 films, what is your top and what's your bottom? So I'll go first. I'll start off. Of all these, I like the most is Venom: Let There Be Carnage is number 1 for me. Soon followed by the first Venom. And then I'm going to put Kraven on number 3. And I'll put Madam Web next. And then the third Venom movie, followed by Morbius as last. That's my ranking.
That's blasphemy.
I think Morbius is my least favorite of all of the movies. And I thought Venom's worst crime, Venom 3 worst crime, was it was boring. And it didn't
Yeah, but
set
it still
up...
had Clark Backo and it still had Juno Temple, you Philistine.
Oh, the woman that couldn't act. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Give it back to him,
Wow.
Josh. Yeah. And the reason that's so low is because the sequel to Venom teased Tom Holland and Spider-Man, yet we were disappointed, and they cast the same guy that was the Lizard in as a hippie.
I don't remember them ever teasing it. Are you sure it's not just a thing of you really wanting it, and so you
there
were
are
reading into
thousands
things?
and thousands of actors that could have played a hippie. Why'd they pick the guy that's the Lizard?
I'm talking about Spider-Man, Brad.
Oh, what?
I don't remember them ever teasing Spider-Man was going to be in it. That's
At
why I'm
the
saying
end of
it.
Venom 2, he licked the screen with Tom Holland on it. It goes, mmm. So, yeah. I don't think you haven't seen Venom 2. Come think.
No, I
have you?
finally saw.
Oh, you
saw
did.
Venom
Okay,
2,
so
yeah.
you remember the Spider-Man scene in that, right?
Well, I didn't even see it, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. Just as a general person who follows this stuff, I knew that there was no shot of that ever happening.
So, this is my list. The top one, Venom 2, Venom 1, followed by Kraven, then Madam Web, Venom 3, and then Morbius. Let me put these back out here, and I'll let somebody else go. Let's see. Brooklyn, have you seen all these, or how many have you seen of these?
3, right?
She's seen 3 of the 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your bottom? Let's start from the bottom, work our way up.
Okay, bottom.
Yeah.
Well, Madam Web doesn't even make the list. It's just
Wow.
it's below D. And then
I'll just put her down there for the time being.
Morbius.
Okay, Morbius.
And then Morbius is still D,
Okay, so
I think.
but it's
Hold on,
it's
I
better than Madam Web.
I gotta go from the top. Hold on. Okay, Let There Be Carnage. Let There Be Carnage is S tier.
Okay, so that's your number 1 too?
Yeah, and then the
All
second one is also Venom.
Okay.
What's the other Sony film?
You got Kraven and Venom 3 left.
Oh yeah, okay. Kraven will be a B,
Okay.
and Venom 3 will be C.
Okay.
Yeah, and you could just take Madam Web straight off the list. Like that's just gone.
Really?
Yeah,
Why'd you
that's
dislike that one worse than Morbius? I'm curious.
Sorry?
Why did you like Morbius better than Madam Web? I thought the
Brad, you
complete
watched the
opposite.
movie, right? Like
I did.
Morbius is trash.
Morbius is
awful.
garbage. Don't get me wrong, but Madam Web is laughably bad. Like I was peeing myself at how funny and stupid it is.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, can you confirm? Did
She
you
was
see
doing
him
it too with me.
in the film. You guys were laughing so hard that you were literally just whizzing.
That's why your
theater
seats were warm.
Yeah, that's why there was that's why there was a moist warm going on. Wasn't these old people you're trying to blame it on? It was you two. You two are the culprits. It's you.
Oh.
You're the problem.
All right, so Josh's list, the best for his list, it goes Venom 2, Venom 1, Kraven, Venom 3, Morbius, and Madam Web is laughable, so laughable you'll piss yourself. Okay.
Bingo.
All right. Brooklyn, of the 3 you've seen, let's get yours. Let's see. Let me get these out of the list.
Kraven, Madam Web,
Okay, so
and
what's
Venom
your
3.
favorite of the 3 you've seen, Brooklyn?
I think my favorite was Kraven.
Oh, okay. Kraven's number 1 for you. What's number
and
2?
Then the Venom, I don't know which one that was.
Venom 3.
Venom 3, okay.
And then Madam Web.
Oh man. All right. So we got Kraven on your number 1 spot, Venom 3, and Madam Web. All right. Get these out of here. Christina, what do you got? You want to work from the bottom or go from the top?
I'll go from top to bottom. That might be easier for me.
Okay, what's your favorite of the 6?
It's got to be the first Venom.
Okay.
The very first one.
Why that one better than the Carnage one?
I am not happy with the way they did Cletus Cassidy and Carnage and Let There Be Carnage. That was a lot of my main gripe with it. So
Why? I thought
Last
Harrelson did a great job.
because you're a big fan of like symbiotes and Carnage
Yeah.
too. So what didn't do it for you?
Yeah, what didn't do it?
well, for one thing, Cletus Cassidy and his bond with his symbiote, they would never fight each other like that, and they wouldn't work together like that because they're so in sync symbiotically. They would say I instead of we and stuff. So that, and then the fact that he's doing it for a woman, Cletus is doing it for a woman, he wouldn't be doing that either.
Yeah, but he loves Scream and Maximum Carnage.
Shriek, Brad.
Oh, Shriek,
Yeah, Shriek.
not Scream. Shriek.
Yeah.
Literally the character from Let There Be Carnage. Yeah, I mean that's canonically appropriate because of Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't done it since. Well, I don't know if it was like that in Maximum Carnage. It's been a while since I've read that, but
They were referring to themselves as mom and dad at different points.
Oh,
when it
I
came
remember
to,
that.
Yeah. See, that's why I like it, is because despite it being a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man, it's pulling from Maximum Carnage
Mhm.
about as well as it can without using Spider-Man in it.
yeah, I would still put The Last Dance above Let There Be Carnage. So it would be Venom, The Last Dance, and then Let There Be Carnage for me. So the Venom films are the first three, and then I would go.
Oh, hold on. What'd you say? Well, I'm off the tab.
Venom 3, then Venom
Where'd
2.
I go? There it is. Okay, so Venom, and then what's number 2 for you?
Last Dance,
Okay, you like that, and then
Let There Be Carnage.
Okay.
This
And
is
then
where
what's your next one?
this is where it gets more tricky for me. I would put. Do I like Kraven better than Madam Web? Is the question. I'll do Kraven, Madam Web, and then Morbius. I haven't seen since I saw it in theaters. I haven't watched
Same.
it since then. Yep. So
Same.
there it is.
So her top is Venom 1, Venom 3, Venom 2, Kraven, Madam Web, and Morbius. All right, let's pull these out. And let's go to George next. All right, top or bottom? What are you going to do?
I would say that my top one is going to be Venom: The Last Dance.
Oh, wow. Okay. There it is. Okay. Venom Last Dance is your...
Just on
Really,
the strength,
why is that one your fave?
just on the strength of Juno Temple and
Crying out loud.
and Clark Bacco, and just because I don't know, it was a Venom movie that dared to make me feel something.
Oh, for George, you really liked Lightning Symbiote Woman?
Yeah,
He did.
Listen, I enjoyed that movie overall. At the end of it, I shed a tear when I realized that Eddie and Venom had died and Eddie had lost his best friend. I was sad. I felt empathy for Venom. It's a Venom film that dared me to care, and I did.
That's okay.
So
right.
I would think my second one is probably Let There Be Carnage, because it was action packed. It was crazy.
Yeah. It
And,
seemed like it had a bigger budget than 3, I thought.
Yeah. And then after that, probably Venom.
Yep.
And then after that, probably Kraven.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Web or Morbius?
I would put Madam Web on the same level as no on the there you go, as the same as no on the same level as C. Yeah, there you go.
See, okay, Kraven.
I wouldn't put it in front of Kraven. I would.
Got it.
Just overall, Kraven is a better made film, even though it's
Yeah.
not so great. And then I would put Morbius last. Yeah.
All right. So Venom 3, Venom 2, Venom 1, Kraven, Madam Web, and Morbius is George's rank.
It's funny how, and when we read all these comics and the ones on the satellite titles, how Venom is the one that gets all these satellite books, and Venom's the one that did the most well for all of us here on the charts here. I'm like, we all talked about the different characters we would rather see do something like this. Black Cat is probably one of the only characters I can think of that probably would actually like do well as a movie on its own, because again, she has her own.
I didn't like that they were trying to team her up with Silver Sable, calling it Silver and Black.
No,
Well,
I don't think Silver Sable and Black Cat are anywhere near on the same level.
No, they aren't. They've never really interacted. I don't even think in the comics.
Yeah, but Brad, Sony,
I know. Sony's going to Sony.
Sony's going to Sony.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. What we got? Just because something is canned doesn't mean it's good. Glances at Brand New Day.
Well, that's for
That's
sure.
true.
That's for damn sure.
Gary and the Frozen Bread, I want to see you do these to Chucky movies.
No,
Well,
you
guess
don't.
what? It's
Oh
no.
God.
Oh my gosh.
I will do it real quick. I've got it here. All right. So
I've
my
seen the
favorite
Chucky
of
movies.
all of them. How many of you have seen Chucky movies?
All of them.
You've seen all of
None
them?
of them.
Brooklyn,
Yep.
Josh, never seen a Chucky movie?
No,
Oh, do
I
you?
think
I got
I
bullied in
see-
high school for other things, but it's,
You what?
I got bullied in high school for other fandoms I was in. But
I think I've seen like the first couple of Child's Plays and then the Bride of Chucky. I think that's
All right,
it.
real quick.
Child's
Here's
Play?
my list. My favorite one. Yeah, I got to go with the original, and then followed by the Bride of Chucky.
You know why I love
where-
the first one so much is because Dinah Manoff is in it.
Yep. The
I love Dinah
babysitter.
Manoff. Yeah.
that
And
really
I-
swings movies for you, eh? The lead female in it.
Well, she wasn't the lead. Catherine Hicks was the lead.
Oh,
But
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Classic. It's a classic. And then you got Jennifer Tilly coming in as Tiffany. Love that. I also love Child's Play 2. And here's where it gets controversial. I like, well, the TV series is really good. I'm going to give the TV series, season 1 is the best of the season of the TV series. I will give Cult of Chucky, like my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth favorite. I will then go season 3 of the TV series where he goes into the White House. Yes, he goes after the president. I
Yep.
know it sounds weird, but I loved it. Loved it. And then
that everything that's happening right now makes sense to me because I've seen what you read.
yeah, I know. It's
I've
great.
seen what you'll pay money for.
And
So, yeah.
oh, and then season 2, the scene where they do what is that? Where you get the demon out of you?
Exorcism.
The exorcism. I love the exorcism scene of Chucky with the
Mhm.
Catholic Church. That's great. And then I thought Curse of Chucky was really good. It was a haunted house. Great scene. I thought the doll didn't look really that great in it, mainly because they had a $1.98 budget. And then the Chucky movie shot in Missouri, Child's Play 3.
Well, everything out of Missouri is terrible. So
Hey.
Oh.
Where he goes to the military boys' school, and they recast the little kid from the first one. And then I don't even want to talk about the remake. Screw the remake. And then the very last one, and let's put that one down there. Seed of Chucky is my least absolute favorite. So there you go. You asked and you received my Chucky. And George and I have talked about this. If I didn't have a Spider-Man podcast, I'd have a Hulk podcast, and I'd also have a Chucky podcast. So those are my fandoms. Yes, I love Child's Play 3 also. So, all right. Let's go
Now
to the
do Grease. Now do all 3 Grease films.
My wife
Power
loves
Rangers.
Grease too.
2 off seasons of Lego Ninjago, just something else random.
I don't know what that is.
Oh gosh, I feel
Okay, so we're gonna go over the Google Doc of what we said and what our pros and cons were. Here are our pros, or here's our grades. I gave it a B. Brooklyn gave it a 45%. She gave it an F. Josh gave it a D. Christina gave it a C. George gave it a C+. The pros, we have the casting of Kraven, the look of the chameleon. The acting was better than Madam Web. So was the voiceover. The cons, can you do it for me, Josh? Okay. We're gonna do take 2. I'm going to full screen you, and I want delivery on this, Josh.
Do it.
Go. Okay, delivery. Let me
I
hear
got
the
into
nar.
mindset of the insulin.
This
death.
is your fault, Josh.
That looked like from the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park more than anything.
Alan. No.
Okay,
I
so
feel like
we
that
have
was somebody mutating into a bird.
or digesting a burger. The Rhino insulin pump was a negative for me. I hated that. That was like the kill switch on Data right in the back of his head. I mean, come on, that was the Rhino's kill switch. Come on. Josh didn't like the CGI of the bears, the lions, and the snow leopard. Oh my. Also, Brooklyn thought the blood transfusion felt like a magic school bus episode.
Wow.
Because,
Oh,
I've heard that before. No, I'm just kidding.
Thinking back on it, another thing I had an issue with
Yeah.
was them trying to make Kraven like this noble conservationist, which was Aaron Taylor Johnson's idea, by the way.
oh,
Because like in the comic book, Kraven doesn't care. If Kraven's going to hunt a giant lion, Kraven will kill a giant lion.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Craven doesn't care.
He-
And
he does
so
it honorably, typically, but
yeah,
he would
I
still-
mean, he's not gonna like, he's
Yeah.
not gonna mow it down with a machine gun. It's like I've got this Browning 50 cal with this crocodile's name on it. That's not how he's gonna roll. But at the same time, the whole thing where like he's some kind of Native American stepping out on the plains and seeing all the dead buffalo. When all the water buffaloes are like dead and there's like, oh, just grab their horns, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't really track. That part felt forced.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Final thoughts on this. Yes, Matt. I like Child's Play 1 because it had Mr. McGee from the Incredible Hulk TV show too. That was one of my favorites too. Chucky's trying to get me. Anyway, that was a quote. George, final thoughts.
I remember at one point you said, "Oh, this shouldn't take us more than an hour."
Well, we're at an hour 15. It's because Josh kept having spasms.
No, it's not because Josh kept having.
Oh,
that.
might as well, yeah,
It's
whatever.
because
Yeah.
we had to suddenly go person to person and rank 6 movies, and then we had to cover Chucky.
And that's why it's called the crawl space, because we go all over the place.
No, it's because we crawl out of speed.
We crawl. This is slow. It's not called the Spider-Man fast space. It's the crawl space. All right.
Yeah, we
Oh, good
crawl.
Lord.
We crawl. We crawl. And then we walk and then we fly. Okay.
Brad is high.
I'm 3
Whoop.
Mountain Dews in. Christina, final thoughts.
It's over with.
What, the movie or the show?
Well, the movie, I should say, and
Yes.
then that not those spin-off movies, at least for now. So
Yes. Yes, very true. Brooklyn, final thoughts. What do you think? What was it like to be on your first Crawl Space episode?
It was good. Scary.
Okay.
Scary.
Yeah.
scary.
Do you like Josh more or less after this?
Oh,
Wow.
No comment.
Oh, I may have affected a
I had
relationship.
to buy
I'm so
her
sorry.
food to convince her.
What did you guys order? What are you eating?
I saw a
Pizza Hut
breadstick.
minus the pizza. I think it was like breadsticks, cookie.
Yeah, I saw a breadstick earlier.
pizza,
You ordered-
cookie, and
You
cheese.
ordered pizza with no pizza? What'd you say?
Yeah, Pizza Hut, but no pizza. We got like cookies and breadsticks and mozzarella sticks.
Josh, do you have to put peanut butter on your breadsticks too?
I've done it before. I'll do it again.
No, that's a legit question because I remember you were telling me that like you have that thing where you can't taste stuff and you have to put peanut butter on the pizza.
Oh, I forgot.
No, I
about
don't,
that.
I don't have to, but I have done it. Yes.
But you can taste peanut butter?
No, I just okay.
What?
I went to see a food
It's more
specialist.
protein.
and
Look
I
at
need
these
more fat
arms,
in my
Brad.
diet, so
Okay.
they make peanut butter in me. So I put peanut butter in everything.
Okay. All right. All right. So Josh, final thoughts on the peanut
Yeah.
butter. I mean on the show. I mean peanut butter was great. Craven
Yeah,
was good.
we really got to get you to watch more Marvel films to know at least a little bit more about what's going on.
May
but-
I suggest you counterbalance the really bad Madam Webs with maybe Spider-Man 2? Like
yeah,
give her some good with some bad.
we'll
Get
get-
her-
Christmas break is coming up. I mean, not that that matters. We work nonstop, but like we could probably watch quite a few over the Christmas.
Get her
break.
into like the Fox stuff and also like Deadpool and Wolverine. and stuff
Deadpool and Wolverine. Get her into Deadpool. That'd be fun.
yeah.
Yeah, we watched the first X-Men movie.
All these Marvel movies that are coming out, and you're like, oh, let's see Madam Web.
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right, Crawl Spacers, thank you for watching. I think this is it for 2024. I think this is our last show. This is our last live stream. We will be back in 2025 with some reviews of Amazing Spider-Man. I don't think there's going to be any. I don't think there's any Spider-Man movies coming out in 2025.
Nope.
When's the next one? Spider-Man 4 in 2026?
2026.
Yep.
You
And that's
gotta
the
see- you
only
get-
next Spider-Man thing. When's Spider-Man Noir?
Well, Doomsday, Spider-Man or Avengers Doomsday is the next
right.
Spider-Man movie probably.
Yeah.
And then you got Spider-Man 4, and then you got Secret Wars.
Well, they're shooting Noir right now, so that might be
Oh,
next
Noir.
year.
There you
Yeah.
go. We can talk about the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man Noir show.
And
That won't
Spider-Man-
cost me $45. Thank God.
Yeah. What's that supposed to be airing on?
Amazon
Prime.
Prime.
Amazon.
Okay,
Yep.
I got it. We can watch that.
Yeah.
Hey, come on another show.
Oh, Gary and the Frozen. You're right. The new cartoon, Spider-Man Homecoming, which I think
January.
looks absolutely horrible.
Oh yes, Spider-Man. What is it? A new beginning or some freshman year? No,
I'm
it
not
wasn't.
reviewing
No,
that,
Your
Brad.
No,
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
friendly
Right.
neighborhood Spider-Man, where he
Right, where
his
he's a
best
where he's
friend
a,
is
a
that
TikTok
chick from
streamer.
that chick from Runaways is his best friend in high school. I think it looks awful.
I'm not
Yeah.
reviewing that, Brad. I'm not even
Yeah.
going to watch it. I'm not going to bother with it.
I don't blame you. It looks really rough. All right, Crawl Spacers, we got a few things to look forward to in 2025. I appreciate you watching us. We've done dozens of live streams in 2024, so thanks for tuning in to at least one of them. And Brooklyn, it was great to meet you. So
Nice
thanks
to
for
meet
coming
you.
on. So, all right, peace out, everybody. Happy 2025.